We have a guest in the studio. His name is Solomon Kuria.
Yes.
Welcome him with the day's proverb.
Mr. Solomon Kuria.
Yes.
I am going to do as I have been instructed to do. I am going to welcome you to the studio with a proverb. Now, this proverb is from the country of Equatorial Guinea. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
An interesting country, this one. President, vice president, relatives. In fact, the vice president is the son of the president. And the president is the longest serving president in the world. I was about to call him monarch. Then I realized, no, he was actually elected. Yes. Now,
Democratically so.
Democratically elected. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Meaning his people elected him. Anything that you hear contrary to that, take it that you just heard it. Okay? Now, I am going to read my proverb using something called a Samsung Galaxy. Yes, Tab S8 Ultra. Okay? Now, here goes. Wherever a man goes to dwell, his character goes with him. Yes. Man leaves house, goes to another house to live. Character
Goes
with him.
That's it.
Man changes clothes. Character
Goes with him. Man leaves country, goes to another country. Character goes with him.
Yeah.
Man leaves childhood, becomes a man, gets married. Character goes with him.
Gets married with him.
Yes.
Wisdom from Equatorial Guinea.
Yes.
Solomon
Okay.
Kuria, welcome to Kenya's biggest conversation.
Thank you so much.
You're a youth leader. You are the immediate former chairman of the Azimio Youth League.
Yes.
Am I correct?
That's correct.
Immediate former chairman.
Yes.
How did you become the chairman of the Azimio Youth League?
I was appointed through consultations amongst all the political parties that formed Azimio la Umoja political party. And I was called, interviewed, and given the job. And I was in Azimio la Umoja, serving at the pleasure of my political party. You know, all of us in Azimio la Umoja had come from
parties.
From political parties. So I had, and I'm still a member of Jubilee Party.
Okay.
I resigned. It's good to put it clear. I resigned from Azimio la Umoja political party, but not
from Jubilee.
from Jubilee.
Did you have any leadership role in Jubilee?
Actually, I was I was the first chairperson of the Jubilee Party Youth League, and that's when I left and joined Azimio. And that position was taken by another vibrant young person called Advice Mudalo. So I was playing the role of chairperson of the Youth League at Jubilee Party, and that's how I scaled up to the
Azimio.
position of chairperson of Azimio la Umoja.
What is a youth league in a political party?
As it should be, because it's not how it is in this country, and it's quite unfortunate. But a youth league should be the most vibrant wing of any political party world over. And if you ask me what is the role of a youth league in a political party, I will take you to South Africa, in ANC, where the headquarters of the youth league of ANC is actually different from the headquarters of the political party itself. They operate like, an entity. And also the Women League. Those two have catapulted the party, the ANC party in South Africa. A youth wing should actually, young people, they are hungry, for power. They're ambitious. They want to meet their dreams and all that. A youth league should enable young people grow politically, such that you don't just jump into a political office without any experience, without any political growth. It's a space that where young people should grow politically before they seek political offices. They should contribute to the growth of the party through mobilization of membership, because young people are energetic.
Yeah.
Moving across the country is not an issue. preparing the agenda through all platforms, social media, mainstream media, and all that. They are the people who can make a political party really grow. Unfortunately, in our country, that space, you really have to fight hard for it. You really have to fight. I'm not saying anywhere else it is just provided, but as systems are in Kenya, political parties, most cases, are more or less individual properties. They have not been, people have not been made to believe that this is our party. We are members. You know, like the KANU. I still see some old men with that card. I think it was going for 20 bob. And a tie.
The red tie.
The red tie. And they felt that they are members of this political party. They felt like they have some shares in the party. That is no longer there in this country. And that's why you find you may not be able to clearly tell what is the role of this youth league in the party. And sometimes they just put there because it is the requirement by the registrar of political parties to represent all interest groups. So you find your name is somewhere, but it is just serving the purpose of filling that gap.
So when you were leader of Jubilee,
yes,
the ruling party then,
yes,
and you were the chair of the youth league in Jubilee,
yes,
what were you doing?
One, I would say I participated in the formation of Jubilee, big time, from the formation, because I remember that by that time I was the supervisor of about 600 clerks that were to help the party mobilize membership across the country. So I was in the process of the formation of the party before assuming that office. And then I aggressively campaigned for our presidential candidate, by then His Excellency Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta, through our group. We were calling ourselves Tokelezea, together with Zach Kenothia and Wamboi Nyoto, Nyongesa, and many others. Came together as young people, moved across the country, and we ensured that the president won, actually twice. You remember 2017, we held the presidential elections twice. So that was the biggest role. First, forming the party, and then number two, campaigning for the presidential candidate and winning, and after that, supporting the government, which I did until we lost to His Excellency Raila, William Ruto, a few months ago.
So as chairman of the youth league then,
yes.
So I just want to look at what you've just said about what a political party should do with its youth wing.
Yes.
And the sad reality of what you're telling us, the sad reality of the political parties in Kenya and their youth wings.
Yes.
So you are the founder chairman of the youth wing of Jubilee.
Yes.
You are the founder chairman of the youth wing of Azimio.
Yes.
Two political parties with a national footprint, one a governing political party. And then you're telling us it's unfortunate that youth wings are not what they ought to be. Where did you drop the ball?
What I would want to say, and I started by giving you an example of ANC, and probably we should be having some courses down there in that country and actually learn how a youth wing should be run. Number one is resources. You have to be independent. If you have to perform, you have to be independent, and you don't have these resources. The party should provide such that you're able to have youth programs across the country, sensitizing about the party's manifesto, the party's agenda, the ruling parties. For instance, Jubilee was the ruling party. If the youth wing was that vibrant, if we were given the resources that we require, and I'm not saying we were not supported, I'm not saying so, but just a few of us could get that support. But imagine if the scope is bigger. Imagine if we have the resources to have as many young people participate in their government agenda, the government they voted for and the government they support. If those resources are there, if we have an office in this country where a young person who is a member of KANU does not go to see the chairman, does not go to see the SG, walks into an office that is customized for young people, and dealing with those issues and well facilitated by the party, then we would be having very vibrant youth wings in this country.
Is there an understanding?
And that is not there.
Okay. Is there an understanding from the political party structure about the importance of this very thing that we're talking about?
Yes.
Because unfortunately, the way political parties and the whole spectrum in the country today, the way in which they're currently constituted is that the power is either in the individual who leads the party,
Yes.
or at least the people who surround him or her.
Exactly.
We know that.
Yes.
If there is no buy-in or if there is no goodwill from the party structure to have these things in place, the likelihood of you presenting it to anybody outside the party and it being accepted then reduces
Yes.
in potency,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
Have political parties presented the importance beyond just presenting, but actually entrenching and presenting them to the people and saying, look, these are our people. We have parties sometimes who insist on the gender agenda. Ensure that you are placing young women there
Yes.
so that people know that the options are available. Do we find political parties specifically putting the power in the hands of young people? Because if they don't, unfortunately, nobody else will.
One, I would say, I begin by where you started, that power rests with, sometimes power seems to be resting with individuals.
In political parties in Kenya,
Yes.
most times.
Political parties have not been institutionalized. It's not an institution. It's a one-man show, or perhaps a man and his inner circle. And that ends and stops there. Therefore, whatever comes out then, whatever is then being taken to the young people or to the women, or it is a decision by the man and his
Cronies.
group. The man and his group. And therefore, it really beats the logic of we are in Jubilee, we are in UDA, we are in KANU, but do we have any say on what emanates from the decision-making table? What then comes to us and what, garbage in, garbage out? Do we participate? That's where the biggest problem is. But political parties try to make it look like they involve. Like, for instance, I said, and I felt, and one of the reasons I resigned is because I'm seeing decisions being made. The people I represent are affected. I have to take responsibility. But of the decisions I did not make or was not involved in making. Therefore, you feel like an outsider. And that's when I came to realize that sometimes, and I told you this, sometimes your name is put there just to fill the gap that we must have a youth rep. And it is put there. Sometimes we find some political parties trying, like I can tell you, without beating around the bush. UDA has tried when it comes to young people. They have tried. From where I come from the county of milk and honey and potatoes and cabbages. Now you have
those are many things.
That is Nyandarua County, the food basket of this country. I can tell you, amongst about so many young people who are supporting the political party during the campaign period that has just ended, about 7 of them have added in the county assembly as nominated members of the county assembly as MCAs. 7. That's a good number of young people getting a space of 5 years to grow politically. The same political party that I come from, in the wisdom of our SG, he went all the way to Meru, to Meru actually, and brought an individual from Meru and nominated him to Nyandarua County Assembly.
What do you mean?
Yeah, that's a fact. And I'm telling you, sometimes you just get lucky if you get an individual who believes in you. Went all the way to Meru, nominated a person, took him to Nyandarua County. And you look around in Nyandarua, we have so many young people who are supporting our agenda. It's Azimio, it's Jubilee. Then, but because, again, you are not there to decide who gets nominated, how do we go about who do we nominate and who don't we nominate? someone, and a stranger ends up in the county assembly as a nominee.
Who nominates people to the county assembly?
Sometimes you can make it consultative. You can rally all the elected leaders or the people who have the nomination certificates, because it is done actually sometimes, most of the times, just before we have the elections.
Yeah.
So you sit down with your governor candidate, your senator candidate, your women rep, MPs, and MCA candidates, because you are all working towards one goal, and you have a presidential candidate. You know the loyalists you are working with. You know the people you are working with, and you bring their names on the table, and you agree that you can choose to do. But eventually, this list will come from the political party under the signature of
the Secretary
General. So he is the person who will end up giving out the names. Sometimes the political parties decide to consult. Sometimes the decision is made inside a room. So that's how it is done. But even you saw the yellow nominations. Something else that should not have happened also happened, and the results that we ended up with. Therefore, I'm saying there's an inner circle that makes some of these decisions, but for you to involve everyone, it's good to consult all the leaders at the party branches in all the 47 counties. Because you could be the party leader or the SG, but you don't know a very influential person in Migori who may be left out if you do not consult the leaders from
the local leaders.
Or you end up saying, actually, we don't have anyone to nominate, but I can see there's someone here from Meru, and they applied, or they reached out to me, so let me take them to Nyandarua. Let me take them to Nakuru.
Solomon, do you know of any political party or political caucus in the world that doesn't function in the way you've just described? One whose functions and the way they go about things is, consultative, whatever counties or whatever they call them, bring up. Do you know of any political party in the world that does this?
I know. I know of the Jubilee of 2017 that I supported so much. I know the consultations that were made, and people who ended up, most people, not all, but most who ended up in the county assemblies as nominated MCAs, in the National Assembly as nominated members of Parliament, and Senate the same. It was consultative.
But who made the final decision? The consultative group or a group of people or individual?
It depended on the level of appointment. If it is county level, the governor had some say.
Okay.
When it came to Senate and the National Assembly, the party leader must have okayed whatever happened. Just like you saw in Azimio and Kenya Kwanza, before the yellow MPs were voted for by the members of Parliament, each house, had a meeting and they agreed. Even Kenya Kwanza, I think they agreed on 5 names. They failed in one, and my friend Karovia was able to penetrate and go to Yala, thanks to the members of Parliament for ignoring the call from their party leader to have him out. But anyway, they voted for him. But you could see the party leader called his team. Azimio still made their decision on who to send to ER. So they consulted. That happens. But at times, for a seat like that seat of a member of county assembly, I don't believe there is, unless you are so outspoken and you have a one-on-one conversation with the party leader or maybe the deputy party leader. It's sometimes difficult for, say, for instance, the president, like William Ruto, to know of an MCA in Nyandarua who was supporting someone in a ward. Sometimes it becomes difficult. And that's why he has to consult his local leadership there, the governor, the senator, the women rep, and stuff, for him to get to know who is that person. Give me the name. And then
if that forwarded. Worked for Jubilee,
yes,
Jubilee was one party, is it not?
Yes.
Everyone, the deputy president, were in Jubilee.
Yes.
Okay. So why didn't that hold sway this second time around?
Because sometimes the higher office bearers change, and people come with their own personalities.
So
Sometimes an SG can decide not to consult. Sometimes they can decide to consult.
So it wasn't a party policy. What you're saying was, what I hear you to be saying is that what we saw happening was what the leadership at that time decided that they ought to do and the path they ought to follow.
Yes.
But it wasn't something entrenched within the party, that this is how we go about doing our things.
Of course, if you have to nominate, then you have to go by the party constitution. What you're just doing, you're just enriching the provisions of the party constitution. You're having consultation. But anyway, if it is to nominate a youth, you nominate a youth, as the party constitution says. You nominate a PWD as the party constitution says. But you consult who is to fill this. But already there are the provisions by the constitution of the party and the constitution of our republic.
You know where I'm going with this?
Yes.
There are nominations, there are appointments, there are elections, there are caucuses, there are decisions to be made. If indeed we want to go through that consultative process, but I make sure that the people who are in the leadership who make these decisions and discuss are people I have already handpicked or I've made sure are there.
Yes.
Have I not predetermined the results that I want?
You have. I'm telling you, you have. But politics is what it is. And that's why you fight sometimes. There are people in this country who really do not have any interest in politics. And there are millions of them. There are people who just say, mine is to wake up and vote. But in that list, you will have thousands of people, thousands of applicants who will apply for those jobs, the nominations. And actually, one of the requirements, and they expect to know who deserves this. So they will ask you, what have you done for the party? What have you done to make the party grow? Because also, again, it beats the logic to just compare someone who has worked for the party since conception, mobilized membership, campaigned for the candidate, and they won, and someone else who was sitting down pretty somewhere, waiting for that chance to arise, and applies for nomination. So, actually, let me say, in politics, more of what is rewarded is loyalty and contribution to the growth of the political party. So that's what happens, and that's the setup of our Kenyan politics. It's not like in the corporate world where your CV speaks for you. The CV that speaks for you in our Kenyan politics is your contribution towards the growth and success of the party agenda in the country.
Which is what it should
That's
be
what
important.
puts you forward. That's very important. And I believe that's why they consult to know huyu tutaacha nje kwani kutakuwa na kelele. If we leave this one out, there will be an outcry. And that's why you should consult as much as you can. And sometimes it's unfortunate that other bigger issues do not actually come on board. Like, if we nominate you, what will be your contribution? Like, on merit.
Are you fit for that particular role?
Are you fit? But what is looked at is, what did you do for us to be where we are as a political party?
But Solomon, if you think about it, if I participated very well in mobilizing people to vote for the party, then I'm a very good person to be in the House of Representatives.
Yes.
It means that I am in touch
Yes.
with the people.
Yes.
So I'm qualified to be a representative of the people
Yes.
in a county assembly. But let's take a break. It's 28 minutes to 9. Solomon Kuria is a former chairman of the Azimio Youth League. He resigned via the letter to the chairman of the Azimio Council and the party leader of Azimio on the 8th of December. After we take a break, he'll come and tell us now, why did he write this letter? What's his beef? And where is he going? He says he's not leaving Jubilee.
But
So
why?
why?
he said Azimio. So
Has he left Azimio, or is he only leaving the Azimio leadership? All those questions we'll ask.
This is the Situation Room, the only way to start your day.
Solomon Kuria was chairman of the Jubilee Youth League. And then the opportunity arose when Jubilee and other political parties formed the Azimio la Umoja One Kenya Coalition Party. Solomon applied, was vetted, and was appointed the chairman of the Azimio Youth League. Now, on the 8th of December, he wrote to the chairman of the Azimio Council and copied the party leader of Azimio, and he told him, I'm resigning from this position of Azimio Youth League chairman, citing several grievances. Give us those grievances, Solomon.
One, let me so that I don't sound ungrateful, first say I'm honored to have served in Azimio La Umoja, the first coalition party to have ever been registered by the Registrar of Political Parties in this country. I'm grateful to immediate former President Uhuru Kenyatta and the party leader Raila Odinga. Tremendous respect for the two, for giving me the opportunity to serve. And I enjoyed as I served until I changed my mind. One, let me say, when Azimio La Umoja political party was formed, the agenda was one, and the main, win presidency in 2017 and serve the people of Kenya at the helm between now and 2027, and maybe seek re-election in 2027. It's good to be clear that the Kamukoji rally that was held a few days ago it really got me thinking, what is my future as a young leader in Azimio? Is this really what I want? And was there proper consultation before this meeting was held? Is it necessary to start throwing jabs at this government a few days after it was installed? What should we have been more, organized before we went out? And then, just even before we take steps, another letter comes out, cancelling another crucial meeting that the members, the young people, the followers of Azimio were waiting for. Explanation? Where is it? Not convincing. None. So I told myself, 2027, where do I want to see myself as a young leader? Who should I rally behind as I wait for 2027? Should it still be His Excellency Raila Odinga, who has tried some other 4 or 5 times, and I will now still be there waiting for a 6th time, maybe to win with him or to fail with him again? But then I said, maybe, just maybe, we failed to clinch presidency in 2022 because of failure to proper consultations. Because if you ask me, with my little knowledge I have in politics, I would have waited for at least, I wouldn't do anything before 6 months elapse. Today, William Ruto, the president, will pick the mic and ask people, look, the AIE holders of my government were just cleared the other day by the parliament, by the National Assembly. And they are telling me I should have lowered this, I should have looked at this, I should have done ABCD. It is very easy. And Raila Odinga is doing this to himself. He's giving the president a golden chance to play reverse psychology with us and with him. Because he's likely to say, this guy is a saboteur. My PSs were just cleared. I'm still in the process of recruiting the CASs and installing the government. He will give him the chance to say, I have no time. Remember, the president and his deputy were all over a few days ago telling people, actually, we found empty coffers in this government. Therefore, it would have been prudent for His Excellency Raila Odinga to wait for at least 6 months and come and say, so you talked of empty coffers, you have collected, if we aim to collect 2 trillion in a year, as KRA, then probably it should be somewhere 500 billion, or maybe heading to 1 trillion. So now tell us, what have you done with this money vis-a-vis the promises you made to Kenyans? But this thing of jumping too fast, holding political rallies a few days after elections, and then, there's something I heard from the rally, and it really got me thinking.
Were you there?
I didn't go. I didn't go. So I had one of the members of parliament from that region, I want to mention him, he's addressing the people, the crowd, and he's telling, and then the party, the chairman of the Azimio party or ODM party in Nairobi, whispered to the MP and told him, pale nyuma, watu wanaporwa sana. So he said, vijana hapo nyuma, wacheni kupora watu. And a meeting took a break of like 2 minutes or 3 minutes. Watu wanaporwa, like, when you're calling for a meeting, that is not a meeting. When you're trying to set an agenda, that is not a meeting that you just invite everyone. These meetings should have been well constituted, such that the people you have are the people who will still take the message you have given them back to Mashinani. But when you just say, I will be going to Kamukoji, so everyone come. So, mugging was there. And I'm actually fed up with this unorganized meetings.
You are against the rally?
Against the rally, number one.
Number two?
Number two, I felt the recipients, of the consequences of such meetings, if the government decides to react, are the young people I represent in that Azimio. What about watakula tear gas? Are these same young people?
But why would the government react adversely? And they were simply fulfilling a freedom that they have of association. I mean, what by simply meeting, what had they done that was
from the past lessons? From the past lessons, we have had such. Government has reacted. Watu wanapigwa, we are university way, and most of them are young people. We have advanced as a country. There are so many ways of addressing grievances. From where I sit and from where you sit, from where he sits, lady and gentlemen, just through this mic, a message can go very far. Throughout the country. Do we need this political at the helm of high cost of living and all this stuff? Can we communicate effectively through other means?
Solomon.
So, and remember, the speculations are, after the rallies, there will be demos. As Solomon Kuria, I cannot be part of that.
Solomon, may I say something?
Yes.
Have you, this is your first time to be in the opposition, so to speak, in politics, is it not so?
Yes.
Okay. So this was your introduction to opposition politics.
Yes.
It's a bit shocking, isn't it? Because I can see what you're saying. Through those lenses, it is an extremely uncomfortable position to be in. And you're wondering, surely, can these guys do these things differently?
Yes.
Everything you've mentioned, high cost of living, problem with this, that is the perfect fodder for anyone who is in the opposition to milk. There's this quiet. People are not happy. You can't wait for it to happen again. When it happens, it's when you take advantage of it. But that aside,
yes.
You mentioned South Africa. I'm glad you did. Did you know that Nelson Mandela was in the Youth League of ANC?
Yes.
In 1944 to what? 1947? Now, did you know that the person who actually set up that particular youth league is somebody who actually died at the age of 33?
Yes.
Now, he influenced, among many luminaries, Nelson Mandela, okay?
Yes.
Walter Sisulu, Oliver Tambo. And that gentleman's name is Anton Lembede, okay?
Yes.
He's considered to be among the people who led this. Now, if you look at the structure of ANC and how it grew, ANC over the years developed and it became a political party with structures laid down. I mean, it's as old as South Africa,
yes,
if I may call it that. I mean, I'm being dramatic here. But outside Kano, we don't have that sort of history with our political parties. So some of these things that we talk about, the moment people have a little disagreement, we are like these Christian churches. So someone disagrees,
you form yours.
You go and so form yours quietly. They were wearing green garments. You wear blue and green and yellow garments, and you make sure they are more flowery. All I'm saying is, in the absence of the culture that you're referring to, because what you're talking about,
yes,
ideally should be how things are managed in political setups.
Yes.
But do we have the sort of structures politically? Look at KANU, the oldest party. Already they're having a problem. Their leader and the Secretary General are splitting hairs, and they're soon going to be calling each other names, not very long from now.
Yes.
Okay? You look at ODM, the leader of ODM. He was a leader of many other parties before he got to ODM. The current president, how many other parties was he in before he got here? The immediate former president.
So many.
Yeah. So, that is our lived experience with our politics in this country.
What I'm so much worried about
Yes.
is I can read. There is no strategy. It is the usual tactic, the usual rhetoric that has not given you anything for the last 5 times.
Are you sure they haven't gotten anything? This is a question I need to ask you. Are you sure?
And I will tell you, just like in football, there is only one win. Just like in politics also, there is no number 2. Everybody, the eyes that you focus, the focus that you have when you are running for presidency is going to the house on the hill. And that is the State House. If you have not stepped there, your dream is yet to come true. And therefore, I am worried that the same strategy applied 1997 with all the changes we have had is still being applied. I mean, sometimes, even when you give medication, continuous medication, that's why there is, I'm not a medicine expert, but sometimes even whatever you're applying the medicine to becomes immune.
People
if you continue
they develop
applying
resistance.
the same, yes, they develop resistance.
Yes.
And, they become immune to your medicine. I believe someone like William Samoei Ruto, I don't think requires the strategy that His Excellency Raila Amolo Odinga is applying. He is sharp, he can see him, and is able to tell him immediately, I have not worked. Give me like 1 year. And actually, you remember when it came to the issue of maize and the cost of unga, what is the response so far? Within 1 year.
Give me 1 year.
Give me one year. And I have given you.
Which is a departure from Nikiweka Biblia chini hivi.
Nita. So, and then also, that comes with something like, we have no money. We didn't find any money in there. So, and I'm also a trained economist. And I know, for me to give my business thumbs up, hands up, to continue or to withdraw from the same business, I at least have to give myself 6 months before I write it off. I can actually make losses. 1st month, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, but not 7th. After 6th, no. But if I make losses 1, 2, 3, 4 months, 5th, small profits, 6th, then I can give it an opportunity to grow.
Are you sure you still want to continue being in politics?
Yes. And this is what I want to. Yes, that's why I resigned. Because, look at the future of Azimio. And also something I'm saying, same strategy. Team leader, same strategy that has not worked. This time, also, I am feeling, and this is very honest from my heart, that it is this time that His Excellency Raila Amolo Odinga agrees to play just the advisory role in that camp. If something has to come out of it, it is the time. And I feel it.
You're saying what? He should hang up his boots.
You know what you're
and
saying,
I'm saying
has been said in the last 3 elections.
Yes.
What you're saying has been said.
This is the perfect.
And he doesn't hear it.
That is that perfect
He doesn't get to
opportunity.
him.
It is the perfect opportunity for him to look around who is with him and say, who can I now hand over this mantle to? I will continue giving my wisdom. I will continue advising you on what to do, but I will not take the first lane.
You clearly have thought.
That is what I think.
This is what you feel.
That is what I am convicted.
And you have thought about. Who do you think he should hand over to?
Now, as Azimio, what I was thinking around, there are people there, enough of them. I will not say that he should hand over to A or C, he should first make that decision. And then call all the stakeholders in Azimio. Like I heard a story of JM and Jomo Kenyatta at some point when Jomo Kenyatta's legs couldn't move anymore, when he felt that I won't continue this anymore. At some point he got people and he said, now look guys, I'm elderly, I'm sickly, most likely I may not be there in the next elections. So who amongst you thinks can? And the debate started. This time it should happen with Raila Amolo Odinga.
So who should he have in that room?
That room has so many people. There's Stephen Kalonzo Musyoka.
One.
There is Joho, although nowadays he's so quiet, I don't know whether
Two, Joho.
Left. I have seen Wamalo himself, even he has offered himself
Eugene
yesterday.
Omalo,
Eugene has said
three.
he'll be there. There is Oparanya.
Four.
So all those people, those are national leaders.
Those are just 4.
They're just 4, but we only need 1 again. So the 4 are so
So
many.
no Martha Karua?
There's Martha Karua. Sorry. There's Martha Karua. The Iron Lady.
No one from Jubilee? Your party?
I mean, you said there were many.
The party leader has...
and 4 are not really many.
No, when you only need 1, and a national leader, 4 are many. I believe so.
3 of them from ODM, 1 from Wiper, 1 from NARC Kenya.
Yes.
Jubilee?
Jubilee, there's Jeremiah Kioni, but I don't think it's taking the first lane, no. But maybe supporting the team.
So not in the room, but outside there waiting.
Yeah. So
Okay.
my thinking is, sometimes, and you have told me that the current president has moved from one party to the other before.
All our political leaders moved, with the exception of Moi
Yes.
and Jomo Kenyatta.
Now, I would like also to tell you the software of our young voters and the Kenyan voters in general. They like that new energy. That is why you saw in Mount Kenya, they overwhelmingly voted for Jubilee in 2017. The same Jubilee they called names this time round, because there was introduction of UDA. Look at what Eugene did in Western. There was always Fort Kenya, but he took DAPK. He got a governor. He has some MCS.
There was New Ford Kenya even before that. Huh?
Yeah. So people, Kenyan voters like new energy.
Do they?
And this new energy is what I am saying. Yes, they do. I can assure you they do.
It's what you're saying needs to be inputted in parties.
Yes, in political parties. And that's what His Excellency Raila Amolo Odinga should discover. If you want to help these people, if you want to help Kenyans, let him accept to install new energy in Azimio and even in ODM. You saw the other day in Parliament, the tough war between Babu Owino and I don't know whether it is Opio Adai or...
You're calling it was Mbadi.
And John Badi.
Yes.
They were fighting for that space in that powerful committee in Parliament. Still it headed with someone else and not Babu Owino. And you can clearly see, when we were doing the campaigns, I did not see the fellow. I always saw young people calling for Babu. We want to hear from him. And when he comes, and even Raila himself said, no, we can't go to this rally without
Babu.
But now when it comes to now in the National Assembly, still goes for John Badi. Why? Why not install this new energy and see how it works and what it does? Look at His Excellency the President and his party and the people he walks around with. If he went for the same...
How closely do you want us to look at these people he walks around with?
And
There's new energy in the party.
Okay.
I will tell you, yes. if he went for Akinabet and Koskei, and worked with him, in fact, the word has changed. It is actually wrong to believe that what you were doing in 1997, what you were doing in 2000, is what you should still do in 2022. Over 20 years ago. So much has changed. And I believe it is a time now, Raila hangs the boot on national, on his dreams to become the president. Probably say, the shortcut to this is by being a kingmaker.
And have someone else.
Support someone else, put all my energy behind him, and bring the change that I want.
You know,
Final question. Sorry,
Go ahead,
because in about a minute. So you said you have resigned from this role.
Yes.
Have you resigned from Azimio?
I have resigned from the position of the chairperson of the Youth League in Azimio la Umoja One Kenya Coalition Party.
But you're still a member of Jubilee.
I am a member of Jubilee. Remember,
You're not crossing over to UDA.
I am not. I have not.
You're
I
not
have no any
defecting to
intention.
Kenya Kwanza.
I have no any intention of crossing over to Kenya Kwanza.
Do you want to collaborate with Kenya Kwanza?
No. Not at this point.
Okay.
I have not. What I just did is that I felt my input is not appreciated. The people I represent should be actually, when these decisions are made, should be heard. And if they are not, the honorable thing. Remember also, it is honorable to resign than to make a lot of noise from inside and you're doing nothing. So if they have to put someone else, let them put. But I would tell you, the biggest challenge in Azimio is this. Azimio has no any elected leader, countrywide. So there is no... Yes.
Azimio does not have elected leader.
Azimio la Umoja One Kenya Coalition Party
Yes, I'm just...
had no any
This
candidate.
hour is a bit short, isn't it?
There's no one.
Other than the president, the presidential
There
candidate
was a
himself.
candidate the other day in Bungoma.
Yes, I know there isn't. I know
Yes.
there isn't, but anyway, subject for discussion.
Yes. That's
Solomon.
I know what in what context you're talking about.
time
That
is
is a
up.
coalition. We have members from ANC.
the
We have
individual parties.
from Jubilee. We have members from ODM and all that. But as
As a party,
a
you
party
don't.
itself,
It's a short hour.
So there are
Solomon,
no
thank
employees,
you for joining us
no
today.
contributions from members of parliament. So the party is like has no resources, relies on wewe leta kidogo, na mukikataa, then there is no money for
Inakufa.
operations.
Solomon Kuria is a immediate former chair of the Azimio Youth League. Is telling us why he resigned from that position. Welcome again. Come back soon.
Thank you.
And we'd love to have you.